Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's basically all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Good afternoon, everybody. It looks like we are live at 5, rocking and rolling. Kilobytes per second is in the green. This is looking good, but it does fluctuate. So if you are having troubles, I do apologize. But the reason we broadcast live on Twitch is because YouTube have already taken down 2 of my channels. Then they were preventing me from editing my shows. Then they were deleting episodes. And I just thought, you know what? Like I just can't be dealing with this. So now we broadcast live on Twitch every day at 5, live at 5 from wherever I am in the world. We put the trailer up onto YouTube and then we upload the full episode onto Streamanity, where you can set your own fee according to what you think about the quality. Yes, indeed. So let's just crack on with it. Got a cracking episode today. But first of all, for newbies, we're just simply going to start off with this image here, because this explains what Bitcoin is. Now, I've actually just done a little bit of fancy video editing earlier today, you know, just for kicks, because that's what I like doing. So I'm actually going to, while we're here, allow Michael Saylor to explain to you, like just in brief, because this is like an edited clip. We'll have we'll watch this clip in more detail later on in the show, but I'm just going to allow him to explain to you what Bitcoin is actually capable of. The original Bitcoin, the Bitcoin in the white paper, and listen to how enthusiastic he is when he is talking. Now, here we go.
I like Bitcoin the way it is. In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is. And the way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy in big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain. Maybe the Bitcoin will be 1 million. You can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something. Big blocks, $100 million chunks on the blockchain. It'll store all the monetary energy in the world, and it should store it for the next 100 years without losing any of it. If Bitcoin's going to fail, it's not going to fail due to lack of functionality or lack of speed or lack of scalability. In my opinion, if Bitcoin is going to fail, it's going to fail because of it loses trust and security. We have to protect the network integrity at all cost.
There we go. Did you hear that? We have to protect the network integrity at all cost. Now, this is exactly what we here in BSV are doing. Like, that man, Michael Saylor, is gonna be pissed. He is gonna be really pissed when he finds out what they have done, because he has read the white paper through and through. He's just like, yeah, this makes absolute sense, and it's distributed, and like nobody can control it. And he's probably thinking, oh, well, these people that forked it, they've tried to centralize control of it. He has no idea about the role that the signatures play in Bitcoin's integrity. When he's saying we have to protect it, it is that chain of signatures that is absolutely essential to the integrity of Bitcoin. So he knows what it can do. We know it can do. We know what it can do. That is why we are here, because Blockstream have purposely spun a yarn and misguided all those people, told them an absolute load of crock and bull about what they think Bitcoin is and what it should be. And the reason they want that is because they have been funded by companies who have suspiciously close links to the Federal Reserve. Now, why would the Federal Reserve want to sort of just simply, relinquish the the world reserve currency that they've been able to they've had for at least 50 years. So they're going to do everything they can to try and stop Bitcoin. And the one thing that you do is you segregate the signatures, you prevent people from using it, you don't scale it, you tell people that it's in their best interest, that they're not meant to spam the network, that it's only for large transactions. Absolute cock and bullshit. Which is why I've just uploaded this image here, so we're going to have a good old laugh at this. Check it out. Now this is what Michael Saylor doesn't understand. And he is going to find out the hard way. BTC, we crippled it, and then we told them it was a store of value. Like, he has no idea. Like, literally no idea. And for any shitcoiners, or should I say some newcomers from other camps who are watching this show for the first time saying, oh, I don't agree with that. I think that's a load of twaddle there, Toshi. You haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Well, let's have a listen to what Samson Mao, who is the Chief Strategy Officer of Blockstream, said in an interview with Simon Dictwit and Max Kaiser. Coming up right now.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Who does? Let's just have that one more time.
Who controls it? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh! Oh! Slam dunk in the goal. Hole in one. Let's just have that another time.
Blockstream.
Oh,
all right.
I was looking at you when I said that.
Yeah.
One more time for giggles.
Almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh, I need a celebratory soundtrack for that one.
Oh,
all right.
I was looking at you when I said that.
Yeah, cue the nervous laughter.
Yeah, I'm a block. I have a spy. I'm one of the spies. No, so this, it's an interesting. There's.
It's certainly interesting. It certainly is interesting, Max. Now that there's a Wait until Michael Saylor gets his hands on you, Sonny Jim, after the price absolutely tanks and he loses everything. Because what is integral to the network is the survival of the miners. The miners need to be given a lifeline. BTC has taken their lifeline away. They're like, yeah, you know what? We're not going to scale on chain. And as I've said before, when you don't scale on chain, the data isn't safe. The whole point of having a blockchain is that the data is secure. When the data is secure, it has a value. When the data is secure, it has utility. When it has utility, it has value. When it has value, it can have a price. And therefore, it can be used as a commodity because the data itself can be valued because it cannot be deleted. And that's the whole point of using the blockchain. When you scale off chain, you create a second layer, which is a centralized solution, which will have to be regulated as money service businesses and hold money transmitter licenses because the data isn't secure, which is why they will need to be regulated. That is the whole point. So for a Bitcoin, to have value as a commodity money, two things must happen. First of all, the data must have value, which comes from its immutability. And then secondly, you need to be able to prove that the transaction has taken place so that global trade and international commerce can have legal recourse so that we don't just simply enter into an anarchic society. And so this is what Roger Ver and his crony mates tried to do to Bitcoin after the initial split. They were just like, all right, well, actually, we'll have a crack at this now, and now we're going to scale it, but we're going to have schnorr signatures, which makes it illegal, which means that global trade and international commerce can never use it, and effectively has resigned it to the waste paper bin for eternity. And if you don't believe me that Roger Ver has actually done that, then take a listen to what he says in his interview.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time, just go use your Visa card. Just go use your PayPal, right? What do you need a cryptocurrency for? You can do all of it with a centralized, fully legal and fully compliant payment platform, right? So go use PayPal. I think you've missed the entire point. The entire point of cryptocurrencies is that by technological design, they are beyond the reach of the law.
That is absolutely outrageous. That is wrong. That is dangerous. That is reckless. That is irresponsible and very childish, to be honest with you. Juvenile-like. Ridiculous.
They're above the law. That's why, imagine if Bitcoin could have been shut down by governments, they probably would have shut it down from right out of the gate.
They are never above the law because if the law can't handle it, then the army gets called in and then they shut it down. Either way, it is never ever beyond being shut down. Absolutely ridiculous.
And it's the fact that Bitcoin can't be shut down. We should ask the BSVers this. If they pass a law saying BSV needs to shut down their blockchain, are they going to obey and shut down their BSV blockchain?
Yeah, because it's illegal, which means it's harming society. Society has rules, just like games have rules, so that everybody can adhere to those rules and enjoy themselves playing within them. So nobody cheats. That's the whole point.
I hope the answer would be no, which is just a lot of the stuff I see from some of these BSVers are silly.
Oh, Roger, you're so silly.
But then there's other BSV fans that, I'm very, very sympathetic to their way of thinking. But the ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card.
Thanks, Roger. I will, because I wouldn't touch Bcrash with a barge pole. And if you wonder why I call it Bcrash, it's because Roger calls it Bcrash himself. He knows it's a complete shitcoin.
And we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
absolutely ridiculous. Literally shitcoiners with shit for brains. In fact, I don't think, well, obviously Blockstream employees have got shit for brains, but the people behind Blockstream who are purposely trying to prevent Bitcoin from scaling and from it ever to be used, they know exactly what they are doing. But this is what Bitcoin fixes. So have a listen to what the Bitcoin creator says about money, control, and power. Here we go.
This is what it all comes down to. See, what people don't understand is Bitcoin with a stable protocol takes away power. If no one can change the protocol, not me, not God, there's no power in money. Money is all about power. And this is one of the things Bitcoin has done. It has removed that power. It will remove that power globally.
And that means that we actually get to have sovereignty over our money. And the sovereignty over our money is backed by the value of sovereignty over our data. It is commoditized data sovereignty. It will, without doubt, be the most valuable money and the best form of money this world has ever had. It is absolutely superb. I have to pinch myself every time I think about this. And let's just have a listen to Satoshi Nakamoto's motivation for creating such a stupendously amazing creation.
At the end of the day, we own a lot of Bitcoin. The simple thing is, if we make the network scale, if we make it bigger, my main compensation, more than anything anyone could ever pay me, is the price of Bitcoin goes up. So that's my pure drive. I want Bitcoin not to go up to 10,000 or 100,000. I want it to be worth millions per Bitcoin. That's it. And that's what we spend money for. Very simple.
Let's just have that one more time. That sounded so good.
That's my pure drive. I want Bitcoin not to go up to 10,000 or 100,000. I want it to be worth millions per Bitcoin. That's it. And that's what we spend money for. Very simple.
Actually, I have to confess, listening to that actually made me feel a little bit ill, to be honest with you. That actually would have triggered my amygdala, because it's very selfish, going, oh yeah, well I just want Bitcoin to be like, not 10,000 or 100,000, just want it to be worth millions. Well, yeah, there is that, but if that's the only thing you're looking at Bitcoin for, you are a very shallow and empty individual. Spiritually, emotionally, intellectually vacant. Bitcoin is just simply so much more than number go up, and it solves a real problem. The problem of centralization and big tech taking over our lives at the moment, but also the store of wealth, which everybody in the world is looking for. And we're actually going to have a look at a Michael Saylor video in a sec. But tell you what, while I'm on a roll here, we're just going to play now the end bit of that Michael Saylor edit. So hold on, let's have a listen to this.
I like Bitcoin the way it is.
So do we, Michael, so do we. Ha! Let's just get to this bit. This is fascinating. Here we go.
I think that the only reason that that people haven't sold all their monetary gold and bought Bitcoin is ignorance, fear, uncertainty. Like as the fear, uncertainty, and doubt disappears, then it seems pretty obvious that the $10 trillion that's sitting in gold should that energy should drain into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin should grow at least to the monetary value of gold and then beyond. Ultimately, the amount of monetary energy in the world that's looking for a safe haven store of value is got to be between 100 trillion and 250 trillion. Like, why not all of it? Like, why not 300 trillion or 350 trillion? If whatever, the total sum of everything. In theory, all monetary energy that's simply looking for a store of value safe haven index should presumably drain out of real estate, cash, stocks, and bonds into the Bitcoin network.
There we go. I mean, so we're going to play this full video later on, so don't want to spoil too much of it, but absolutely inspiring. I mean, he has really done his homework on the technological design of Bitcoin. It's a shame that he's just simply not up to date with the politics. He's going to be one really pissed off bunny. Seriously pissed off bunny. Michael, if one day you're listening to my video, this is what you need to know. Well, in fact, you probably know this anyway, but what you don't understand is what I just explained at the beginning of the show, and that is what has happened to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has not changed. However, other people have changed the ticker symbol. Bitcoin is still the same. This is why there is so much animosity between the camps. We know what's gone on. They know what's gone on. They know what they've done. We know what they've done. No one else knows what they've done, including you. So this is going to be a wake-up call. You know, you can thank me later if you hear this video and you have time to get your money out. But if you don't, you now know who to blame. Like, I'm doing my best to get my message out to you. I have DM'd you. I've sent you my show. But I obviously heard how you dismissed Roger. Why would you listen to me? Even though I know everything, because I am Satoshi. I am the person who understood that Satoshi Nakamoto not only solved the Byzantine generals problem, which is the issue of the double spend, he also solved the paradox of the centralized starting point. That is something that nobody else has recognized. And it's this paradox of the centralized starting point that makes Bitcoin a commodity and not a security. And it's this paradox that has taken 11 years to solve. It's not something that can be done overnight. It's the neutral growth over 11 years. And that neutral growth has diluted the central point of authority or control. That is why Satoshi Nakamoto had to step away from the project. This is why he had the keys to the Tulip Trust designated to be returned to him on the 1st of January 2020. So he had all that time from the, effectively from the release of the white paper to the, which was on the 31st of October, to the starting the network on the 3rd of January 2009, to the Tulip Trust being created on the 9th of June 2011. That held 17% of the overall circulating supply in it at that time, just in case, while Satoshi stepped away from the project, someone decided that they would try and hijack it, take it over, cripple it, prevent it from scaling, spin all these stories. It was Satoshi's insurance policy. That's what it is. So when people say, Bitcoin has been around for 10 years, well, the 11 years of neutral growth is not really Bitcoin being around. It is just simply letting it blow in the wind, letting it do whatever it had to do. Bitcoin, the Bitcoin, has really only been around since the 1st of January 2020. That started the new period, the second phase of development, which is the phase of value added. It is huge. That is why you're going to see so much progress over this year, actually. I was going to say over the coming months. It's just going to be absolutely staggering. So anybody who sees this in time, maybe they've got time to, maybe I'm trying to save people. If people genuinely, got into Bitcoin for the right reasons, and not for some, anarcho-chaotic, illegal, crime, ideology, whatever, they still have time to move and they won't lose everything. But that's what will happen, because as you can see, and I've put pictures on here for shitcoiners with shit for brains so that they could understand it. I've tried to describe it. We've got the consensus algorithm with like, you know, picks and shovels, like proof of work. Then we've got a proof of stake. We've got a piece of the pie. Delegated proof of stake is like the piece of the pie separated here. ERC20 tokens, just like monopoly money made up. And then pre-mined was just simply magicked up on the spot. That's what these symbols are for. An acronym, and then development. And as you can see, with proof of stake and delegated proof of stake, the reason I've got a no entry sign with I forgot what they're called, sand timer in it, is because developing on them is a complete waste of time. Literally a complete waste of time. Monero means that you know, the coin is illegal. That's exactly what they've done with Bcrash as well. Segwit on BTC, segregating the signatures. They all mean it's just they're centralized networks, which means they have no value, which means they're utterly stupid. They have no future whatsoever. They are a scam or a fail or a counterfeit, and they are a total shitcoin. And I've even put like little descriptions here for everybody to read. So as it pains me to say that literally only Litecoin is a genuine commodity. But what discredits Litecoin is Charlie Lee himself, because he always said right from the beginning that he started the network, and it's that starting of the network that discredits it for everybody else. So have a listen to what Charlie Lee said when he was interviewed about Litecoin.
You created Litecoin, right? So this has to be something like you're incredibly passionate about.
Yeah, as most of you probably know, I kind of created it just for fun, right? I didn't really expect it to become anything.
There we go. And that's Litecoin, which is the only other genuine digital commodity. Created it for fun. In other words, an absolute joke, which is why he exit scammed in it. Now, there will be other people, particularly shitcoiners, who don't understand what I say. But if you want to recognize a shitcoiner, let's just remind ourselves. What does it shitcoiners say?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey. Just stay away from people that sound like that. Oh my goodness. Right, I've not looked at these figures today, so let's just have a quick rundown of the stats. Check this out. This is the crypto forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network. So look at this, our hash rate 0.3%. I'm not even going to bother looking at these shitcoins because they mean nothing to me. We got to 2.2% of the nodes on the network, 36.7% of the hash rate, and 33.4% of the block size. Again, it's just coming. Right, so let's just spot the biggest block on Bcrash. I can see a 1.4 megabyte from Huobi. Oh, 1.9 megabyte from BTC top. There'll be hard push to get anywhere above that. Yeah, no, that's it. That's because BCH are actually doing a promotion at the moment. So yeah, I mean, it's just a bubble. I mean, there's no value in that coin whatsoever. And then we have a look at CoreCoin, and they've purposely given themselves a 1 megabyte restriction because they don't want people to use it. They don't want people to use something that does nothing. Right. Have you ever heard the word useless referred to anything valuable? No. When it's useless, you discard it. When it's useless, you throw it away. When it's useless, it's worthless. And that is what BTC is. And BCH, come to think of it, really. So let's just spot the biggest block on Bitcoin. So again, when I look at that, a 5.4 megabyte on Tau. That's pretty good. A 9.2 megabyte on Norpool. Mempool. Congratulations to them. Massive progress there. 3.9 for Tau as well. Alright, so a 9 megabyte block. Again, these other two shitcoins wouldn't be able to get anywhere near that. Like, not at all, not at all. So hash rate by network again. Oh, look at Bitcoin's just dropped off. Never mind. It's just probably to do with price and whatnot. Proof of work by network again. CoreCoin and Bcrash will just literally, they will stop overnight. Like literally, I would say maybe like they'll be gone within about 3 days when it starts. So Bcrash versus Bitcoin hash rate. Bcrash versus Bitcoin proof of work. Oh, that's more like it. It is 41,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Coolcoin, but it's 4.7% more profitable to mine on Coolcoin than Bitcoin. So yeah, pushing all the shitcoin enterprises off the chain. So average Bitcoin block size by network. Again, Coolcoin just winning. So transactions by network, Coolcoin just winning. Transactions per block, Coolcoin just winning. So like a B crash, like they're trying to make a run for it, but unfortunately, shitcoiners with shit for brains, you know, they can put energy into it, but the fact is they are clueless. They don't have a clue what they're doing. Anything they do is short term. It's just pumping the price, you know, a short term amount of transactions. They have no idea, literally no idea about fundamental value. They have no clue. Daily average Bitcoin fees by network, again, are Bitcoin absolutely smashing it. Fees Satoshis, a Bitcoin smashing it. Block reward ratio, again, that'll come with time because it follows price, which follows value, which follows utility. And only BSV has got genuine utility on the network. Bitcoin blockchain growth by network, again, just laughing at B crash there. Here we are, this is what we want to look at. This tells you the story. Global hash rate. Oh, come on, CoinDart, seriously? Just we're getting into the best bit. Don't spoil this for me now. Come on. Right, global hash rate 7 days. So F2 Pool, BTC.com and Poolin. The big three, the Mac Daddies at the top. That's what we're used to seeing. And then they pushed Binance and Antpool. Well, they're all shit. Well, BTC.com is Jihan, so that's a shitcoin enterprise anyway. But Binance particular, like criminal enterprise. Antpool again, part of Bitmain. So global hash rate 24 hours. Antpool pulling the socks up, pushing Poolin down into 4th. Binance down in 6th. It's oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th even. And let's have a look at Coolcoin. So again, all these shitcoiners are going to be loving Coolcoin at the moment. The big three at the top, followed by Antpool and Binance. B crash. Oh, interesting. Okay, so there's a Huobi on there for whatever reason. Again, you'd expect Antpool and BTC.com on there because they're just mining it for ideological purposes. Total and utter pieces of shit. But good to see Hathor on there chomping away at some of those empty blocks. Let's just check Hathor quickly. See if Hathor is mining blocks. Oh no, empty blocks. Hathor's still mining blocks with little bits of data in it. 128. I mean, that's hilarious. It cracks me up. I know Hathor has mined a 1.1 megabyte block on B crash. That's really quite funny. Really quite funny. Because there is no point in Hathor being on there other than sheer spite. Absolutely hilarious. And let's have a look at Bitcoin. Wow. Huobi macking it hard. Let's see what is Tal on. Well, no. Tal are not mining Coolcoin. And it looks like Huobi has actually taken some of their hash rate off of Coolcoin. So that is Huobi loading up. Wow. That's Huobi off of Coolcoin. Oh, they're still on Bcrash for whatever reason. But loading up on Bitcoin. Yeah, I would say that's an indicator. Tal have got 100% of their hash rate focused on Bitcoin, and now Huobi wants some. Huobi wants to be a player, and then via BTC again. I mean, they're just like, I think they're just a general shitcoiner via BTC. Like they're just sort of, they've got their via BTC have got almost like equal hash rate on all chains. So I think they're just. Sort of like, I just think they don't have a clue. They're just like, right, how can we sort of, diversify our portfolio, spread the risk maybe, is what I think they're doing. I don't think they have a clue. But look at this. So we've got BTC.com, F2 Pool, and Poolin, all gesturing on Bitcoin. So very strange. I mean, they've no reason to be on there whatsoever. Especially not with such small amounts when you consider how huge their mining operations are. So like again, I think they may be just gesturing, but who knows? Right, okay, let's have a look at the blockchain working live in front of our very eyes. Again, for any newbies who are watching this for the first time, The vertical rectangular blocks at the top are the transactions being recognized by the nodes on the network. Below it are the organizations who are generating those transactions. And then to right, we've got the transaction ID, the input, the output, the type, and the op return. Once the transactions are recognized by the nodes on the network, they're then thrown into the meme pool, which is when they are there, and when they're there, they're competed for by the miners and the payment processors, who compete with each other to process the transaction, put it in a block, put it on the blockchain, and win the coin base, which is currently 6.25 Bitcoin. And this is the blockchain down here. These are the blocks that have been mined over the last 18 hours. So you can see we've got like an 8.9, 6.9, and 9.3. And if we hover over the 9.3, you can see in the highlighted box below, we've got the hash number, the height, mined by, size, time, date, transaction count, and total fees within the block. And in Q1 of this year, and now we're over halfway through January, so we've only got like 2.5 months left, it's anticipated that the transaction fees in the blocks themselves will surpass the block reward. Now imagine you have a system which is now actually economically self-sustaining purely by the volume of transactions on the network. That is what Bitcoin is all about. So it is Bitcoin that initially economically sustains the miners until the network can actually grow itself. This is why the block reward gets cut in half, to give miners the incentive to hurry up, because there is a fixed supply. Because if there wasn't a fixed supply, it just means that the supply would be controlled by somebody, and we would be back to fiat currencies with somebody just simply pulling the strings, printing however much they want. The supply has to be fixed, which means it has to be spread out to give miners the incentive to hurry up and invest more. But the whole point is that their investment leads towards more and more people using the network. And when more and more people use the network, the miners can then sustain themselves by the fees, the very, very tiny fees that they can charge, and are economically sustained by the sheer volume that has been attracted by the miners' investment to encourage more usage of the chain. It is absolutely phenomenal. So again, just to remind ourselves of these fantastic pictures, this is it. Transaction processing. So it says here, block subsidy versus transaction fees. So we've got BSV block subsidy. As we can see, it gets cut in half, and then half, and then half. And then this is the halving schedule, half, 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 half. And then the BSV transaction subsidy. So as you can see, 2009, like when it just simply started, very, very few people using it. But then as more and more people start to use it, and they get attracted to the network. So we are now in 2021. So I think actually that this graph might have been made like quite some time ago. I think this is what Satoshi had in mind, because it was at the beginning of 2020 that the keys to the Tulip Trust were returned to him, which is when he planned to put his foot down and start massively scaling and adding value to the network. So like, it is coming. It is coming. It's going to be absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. So let's have a look at one of our other favorites websites here. This is Bitcoin blocks, or BitInfo charts. So you can see a number of metrics which compare all the cryptos here. And if you actually go to BitInfo charts and you look at the highlighted blue tabs on the left hand side, for example, we've got average transactions. If we click on that, and then if we go to log, and then 3 years, take out Doge obviously because that's a joke, add Bitcoin because that's the only one that really matters, and we'll add BCH for lulz. There we go. You can see through disparity. This is Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin when it finally got its ticker symbol back, when we got rid of all the shitcoiners, or should we say shook out the shitcoiners, and really started building. I mean, look at the transaction usage on that. So that's daily average Bitcoin transactions per day. Or daily average Bitcoin transactions per day. Daily average Bitcoin transactions are absolutely phenomenal. So that'll do for the trailer. We'll wrap up the show there. Been going on for 1 hour 15 minutes. So as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Joy given. Same time tomorrow. Catch you later. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and watch the full episode on Streamanity for just 20 cents. Go to www.satoshi.tv. See the link in the description below. Bitcoin, one world, one chain.
Yeah! One vision.